Okay, we're going to try this, folks, but we might have to bail because I'm having a mic meltdown. So let me know if you can hear me. It's not mic'd, it's literally going straight into the camera. So let me know if it's doable, if it's just awful and you can't hear me, and we'll go for it that way. My basically mic pack's just died, which means I've got no backup, which is a lesson to learn, I suppose. But let me know if you're good. I shall pop out the chat. Sorry about this. I hope that you say it's your first live one, and you're saying that you're looking forward to it. So I hope it works. Maybe we have to bail. Sounds perfect. Okay, cool. That was 700 quid's worth of mic wasted then, wasn't it? So what I think I can't change the angle. So I was gonna, show you some stuff. But right, that was a panic. Every time I start one, it's almost as if I'm doing it on purpose for some sympathy. Basically, last time I did this, I had a big meltdown. Not as bad as that, because that was like the camera the mic just died. I think I haven't charged it, but I thought I hadn't plugged it in properly. Bit of room noise, but sounds fine. Cool. Okay, well that's kind of what we've got. We've got a bit of room noise. I can't change the camera angles because the mic then isn't going to work, but that's okay, isn't it? And we just get to hang out in this. If it is your first time, it's completely flawless usually. Oh, I've got to calm down now. I've had my cupboards out. I had to unplug things. I thought I could use the mic when it was plugged into the mains, but you can't. So let me calm down a bit. Say hello and welcome to Real Magic Review. Great, and it is. I think the camera on my Sony, the mic on my Sony camera is good actually. It's picking up enough, but I couldn't even get that picking up. So I'm a bit. When you sort of know you're going to go live, you get a bit shaky. It's a bit like. I don't like anything going wrong. Well, nobody likes anything going wrong when they're going to do anything, do they? But I did a show. I think I've talked about this before. I did a show for a client. That had booked me lots to do close-up, and they usually booked a stand-up comedian. And I said, well, I'll do your show if you want, for the whole, for the close-up. And they said, can you do that? We've only seen you do close-up. I was going, yeah, I've done loads of shows. So I had quite a lot to prove, because they were risking it. And about 3 minutes before I went on stage, they told me the people in the hotel to get changed in this room. It was a massive room, but it was like you kind of went through a fire exit to get into this big storage room, rock and roll and all that. And when the door closed behind me, I was locked in this room, and I started hearing the MC sort of calling me on, ladies and gentlemen, and I was locked in this room. And I had to call someone from the hotel, phone the hotel reception to get them to come and let me out, and then I had to walk straight on stage. And I feel very similar now. It was horrible. And then after that, everything went wrong in the show. I sort of knelt down to get something, and there was a staple up where they'd stapled things onto the stage that cut my hand. My Venom cube went wrong. It was all awful, but we're here now, and that's fine. So we're going to do comments on comments. Welcome. Please like and subscribe. Please check out cardmagiccourse.com. That's my online card magic course. Let's do the right thing here. Every week. Soon I am putting the price up of the membership where you get the live sessions and the contact with me, asking me. So basically people at the moment can ask me questions about stuff they're working on, and I make a video back for them or put a video on the site. You can still do that. Everybody that's joined now will get that forever, but it's becoming quite busy, so I'm going to have to kind of up the price of that and limit the numbers of that membership there. So, but if you get it now, $9.99 a month, you get all that. But if you want the I was going to say, but I'll stop banging on about it now, but I'm not going to. If you want to have a look at it and get something for free, go to cardmagiccourse.com/cull, C-U-L-L, and you get a free spread cull course, a whole course on the spread cull with me performing with it, breaking it down what I'm doing, improvising with it, and also teaching it in depth. So that's one of the most powerful card moves in Magic, the spread cull. And that's about it. Do all that stuff and tell the world about it, please. So I'm going to do the comments on it. I forgot to mention when I put this out, it's also going to be on Isolated, isn't it? Because I'm putting lots of reviews out at the moment because I'm trying to catch up. I will at some point go down to about 2 a week, I think, but I'm just trying to get through them and give them the time they deserve. I'll just go to comments. First of all, hello everybody. Sorry, I didn't really say hello properly. Hey Stuart, Manish, India, how you doing? Magic Man, I can hear you, cool. Roger Curtis, first time real Magic View, look forward to it. Well, I hope you have fun. Dane, hey, how you doing, mate? Hope you're well. Geordie, how you doing? Miss Click Gaming, how are you? I presume you have a gaming channel. Martin Skills Workshop, hi everybody. Steve, could you say a bit about your up-and-coming online gig? No, it's not online, it's real gig, and I shall. Well, it's a real gig if it still happens, and then it will go online if not. So, yeah, I'll talk about that if you want. I don't want to feel like I'm just plugging stuff, but I will. Remind me near the end to talk about it. We'll go to the comments. And then I'll tell you about my show. It's 2nd of September. It's stevefaulkner.com/show. And you will, I'm really excited. I've been working on it every single day and I haven't done that for years. I get up, I'll get about half 5, go for a run, do all that stuff, come to the office. I do 1 hour a day just on creating the show and see where that takes me. And it's didn't fully understand the price change on Card Magic course. How much is it going to be? And also for current members. Current members, nothing changes. And it might not change. I'm just kind of, because if people are connecting with me and I'm sending them a video back every time, which may not be the case, that's fine at the moment. But it's you know, the whole thing about the course is I want to build it. I want it to kind of this and the course and to be really successful. It's taken so much work since 2013. I'm starting to. I'm still not making profit out of it because it cost me a lot to run and all that kind of stuff. But I'm starting to think, actually, if I want to be able to answer questions properly and not rush it, a bit like the comments on here. That's why I do the comments on comments show, to be able to kind of people that ask genuine questions, to give them the time, and I want to be able to do that. So it doesn't affect anybody now. And if you join up today, it doesn't affect anybody. At some point, I'm going to create like a VIP membership where you get connection with me and I answer your questions with video. But everybody now gets that, so nothing changes. Cool. Right, greetings from Berlin. Fabian, I was talking to talking about Berlin, Axel Hecklau yesterday. I'm going to review some stuff of his soon, some old stuff, some stuff that's been out for a while. Man, it's so good. Spoiler. That's someone that you need to know about, a creator. So let's do some comments, and I'll come back to questions. I know it's been a bit of a rough start. Let's do FAB board. So if you didn't see it, FAB board is a Force Anything board. It's a really nice way of, well, it's a clipboard that you can force anything of 10 things. You can write any 10 things and force one of them. As a college instructor, and if you don't know what these are, watch the reviews afterwards, but the questions tend to be generic about magic or the products themselves. So if you watch this and then see the review, you'll know more about it. Tom, as a college instructor, I used a clipboard for 25 years. This would be a natural thing for me to hold. It's second nature, and it won't break the bank. Thanks, Steve. Yeah, Tom, so clipboard, some people think it's a bit old school, but you know, you're a performer. You'd have stuff that is kind of, that works on stage. So to have a clipboard is really fine, for want of a better word. It's really organic, but it's a thing, and it doesn't feel like part of the show. So it's kind of like you force it, put it down, and then get on with it. And I think so. Simplicity of it, even though digital force bag is great. This is from Gideon. Some people will say it's a phone and there's loads of apps that can do so much. Yeah, I think the thing with digital force bag, it has to be used in a way, you have to be really careful with the routining of it. It has to be almost like, okay, we do it on my phone. You know, it's not like, here's my phone, we'll do a thing. And I know what you mean. In some contexts, it can look a bit, well, maybe it's a magician thing, because I know a lot of people that use it very successfully. But for me, I do prefer the in certain contexts to do something a bit more organic. But I love digital force bag, it's brilliant, and so many people use it, don't they? Sorry, I'm just looking at the comments here. That's weird, that went on to the linking rings already. I love the idea of forcing with a board like this, as they get a free choice number between 1 and 10. Great review as always. Thank you. Yeah, it's nice. Thank you for your lovely comments. I won't answer every one of them because there's just some really nice things, but it's always very much appreciated. I like it when people aren't happy. I don't like it when people aren't happy. That's a terrible thing to say, but you know, when people criticise me, I find it quite funny and a little bit hurtful sometimes. Punishment for Decadence said, before I've provided any value at all, like this and subscribe and jump through more hoops. Bruh, F that. It's not exactly, I wouldn't say like and subscribe, check out Card Magic courses, exactly jumping through hoops. I think if you think that's jumping through hoops, maybe life is going to get a little bit more difficult for you, especially when you have kids. But there you go. I know it's, but you know, we do what we do. But yeah, sorry about that. Kieran, how clean does this look? Inside the red looks slightly different from the rest of the page. Okay, so this is one of those things that if you really scrutinize it, like lots of Magic things, if you sit and scrutinize it and watch it on film and go, you know, and kind of know a bit about Magic, you might go, oh, now I know, I can see. It's gonna fly. Honestly, there's stuff, I've done loads of work around change blindness. I've done a TEDx talk with a neuroscientist around it. You've got no issue at all with that. It's something that where we look at things with different eyes, and it's like the rings, the linking rings, you know, that I reviewed, the Malero rings. People are going to be a little bit like, what if I get the wrong angle? You've got to kind of, it's useful sometimes. It's hard to do for us to really try and empathise with the audience and try and imagine where they're looking and what they're looking at and how they're feeling at that point. And with something like the FAB board, there's just no scrutiny on it. So any slight kind of inconsistencies in certain things, and again, if you think about it, you probably won't have that inconsistency anyway. I kind of put it together just to show you on here, and I hadn't kind of really looked at what to use, and you know, I sort of threw it together. But I wouldn't worry about that in a live performance. I really wouldn't. It would be totally fine. Zach Magic Israel has a review channel. Zach's. Is it language restricted or can it be used in any language? Absolutely any language. Amazing Anthony, can't decide between A4 or A5. Thoughts? I work on stage, parlour and close-up. I suppose the A4 will work on anything. It's a bit clunky and a bit big to carry around for close-up, but it will work. I would say the small one, if you're on stage with distance, won't. So I would go with a big one and maybe not use it as much in close-up. I don't know, or get both. I know I'm not saying that I would do that. I'm not recommending it, but if you're going to use it for both, maybe look at that. And I'm not affiliated, so don't worry about that. Right, so that's FAB board. Any questions on that? It's, your audio's gone for a moment. Fine now, thank you. Yeah, it's because if you're joining this late, I'm not even on a mic at the moment. Hey, I'm from Israel. How you doing? How late am I? Yeah, if you just arrived, I'm going to say it again. My mic has died, so I'm only mic through the camera. That's why I sound a bit rubbish. Okay, so I'm going to look for my isolated bit. There were some interesting ones on here. Let's go. Hang on. I've lost my page. I'm trying to search my own channel here and not being able to find it, which is a shame, isn't it? Yeah, that's terrible. Look, sorry about this. My channel, and now my own voice is going to come up, which is terrible. Right, my isolated review seems to have. Oh, there it is. Okay, so here's the comments on isolated. There were some interesting ones on here. Very nice overview. Thank you, lovely people. So this is two conflicting ones. I have it and your review is 100% accurate. On a personal level, I liked it, but will never use it because you can achieve the same with a regular non-gaff deck. I would say these sort of decks for me are made for people who, they're made for people who want, you know, if you're under pressure, you know, you got a gaff deck and you know you got less to think about. There is less sleight, so some people just aren't sleight of hand magicians. They look at more presentation and look at more kind of how they perform the thing. So I know what you mean. If you're a sleight person, you might not use it. I think there is a cleanliness, that's the word, isn't it, to it, that means that you can just sit back a little bit and relax. Saying that, there is a bit of risk in it. The way they've made it, there's a kind of bit of thinking you have to do, and you've got to be wary of a certain amount of things, which I mentioned on the review. But looks interesting. Is this similar to the Mastermind deck? I don't know, because I haven't used Mastermind deck. Pat Rice said it is, don't bother. Pat Rice had a few things to say, which I'll talk about in a minute. And I said I'm not sure, I haven't played with Mastermind. Alan Kane, I thought from watching the trailer it was easy to guess the gaff. If I think it is what I think, I'd be a bit disappointed, particularly given the price. I'm sure it works just fine for effects described, but given you are allowing the spectator to shuffle and handle the deck, I think it would be almost impossible to allow the spectator to turn over their own card. Given they have already handled the deck, this might be a bit jarring. Yes, so, and this goes on to, and Pat Rice comes in again saying it's save your money, it's a Monte Cristo deck. Again, I don't know. I did phone someone who kind of knows their stuff and told them about the deck before I reviewed it and said, is there another deck like this? Because I'm not really, I don't know about all the gaff decks because I'm more sleight of hand. And they said, and they kind of know a lot, and they said, no, this is slightly different. So it's the same idea, but I think there is a slight difference with this bit that can make it look a bit more fair. Pat Rice, okay, let's answer this one. Your review isn't real, in capitals. If you want more subscribers, be honest with your reviews, with your viewers. This is the Mastermind deck. Again, it might be I didn't know. Monte Cristo deck, and the spectator cannot turn over the gaff card without exposing the gaff. It's shown on the trailer. Let me guess, you were sent this deck to review. Okay, a couple of things. Of course I'm sent the deck to review, but I don't have to review it positively. If things really upset me and they're a complete rip-off, I will talk about it. If I think they're okay, but there's a bit in the trailer that upset me, I'll talk about it like I did with Summit that isn't, you know, is deceptive. When I watched the trailer, there's a bit in the trailer that said, and they can even turn the card around themselves, and there's a bit in the tutorial that shows you how to do that. So that's not deceptive to me. I've got no reason. I don't know the Sky member people. Murphy's Magic send me a lot of stuff. I've negatively reviewed a couple of things. I haven't even bothered reviewing some stuff if it's just a bit now. There's nothing to it. If I think it has interest, but there really is no pressure on reviewers to review things well at all. People know that. You're a reviewer. They know they're not going to. You know. Now it doesn't mean people might not choose to do that because they're a bit worried, and maybe in the early days there I was worried about upsetting people. Now it's kind of people don't get upset, and even people that create stuff say to me, look, I don't want a positive review, I really want the feedback. But you know, that's just, I don't know everything about reviewing this, but I think the skill is to try and see the positive in it and highlight the challenges, which is what I try and do. I don't know whether it's a Monte Cristo deck. They tell you how to manage if you want the spectator to turn over the card. It is going to, I wouldn't do it in most situations, but there is a way of doing it, you know, and you have to control the situation. I don't really see the point, because when you're doing it and you kind of go, you know, it's like with the, you know, with the shadow wallet, you know, you show a card and nobody goes, let me see the other bit. You know, it's just the way you show it. There's no point in giving it to them, really. It's kind of giving it, and whether somebody is, I think it's very obvious where someone cuts some stuff out of an advert. The trailer for me didn't seem that deceptive. It kind of threw it in as a, you can even turn it, but it wasn't like, this is the selling point, you can let them turn over the card. It was like, you can even do that if you want. And that, to me, what didn't feel deceptive. Now, I don't know that, but I tend to go with what I feel, and I don't really think it is. I think it's a fairly decent thing. The point of it is that you can shuffle it, I think. They can push the cards together. There is a bit where they can kind of shuffle it, but you can very cleanly shuffle it and push the cards together on there, because you know the setup of the deck and you know how it goes, and then they can count the cards. And so the fairness, it isn't 100% fair, but it feels very fair. I don't think it's amazing. I just think it's a kind of cool thing to have. And it's, and again, would I buy it? Probably not. But do I think it's quite cool? Yeah, I think it's nice. And that's all I can say. You don't have to agree with me. But it definitely isn't a case of me reviewing it being worried that people aren't going to like me. So let's have a look. Yeah, so I get what you're saying. It must be frustrating, but I really do try and be as honest as possible. And I'm certainly not paid. There's no affiliate links or anything like that. And if people stop sending me stuff to review, if I review something badly, then they stop sending me stuff to review. That's the way it goes. You know. Let's have a look. Hi from Israel. Yeah, oh yeah, he said that. This by far one of the best Magic channels on YouTube. Oh, lovely. I didn't read that beforehand. Love your honest feedback. Thank you very much. Magic Stevens Reviews and Tricks. And there's another review channel. Check him out. Gary Lambert, you're flying today, mate. Yeah, without the about the mic on. Oh God, why do I waste my money on that? How is isolated different from an effect like Position Impossible? Looks almost identical really, with the exception of dealer's card holder in the trailer. Okay, the dealer's card holder in the trailer, Dane, is only it's only a thing you can use if you want. It's not. I don't know what Position Impossible is. Again, I know there's a lot I don't know. I went through my wilderness years. You know, all I do is I almost try and see this as a layperson. It is similar to a lot of things, but it has this inbuilt thing that again makes it less fair, but can look more fair. If you've already got those tricks that do the same thing, then it's like it's just probably a slightly different way of getting to the same thing. But again, these effects are also similar, aren't they? So I think it's like if you look at that and go, that does that, I want a trick to do that, then, and you've already got that in your or you know another routine that does that, or another gaff deck that does that, then go for that one. That's what I say. You know, it's not I think a lot of these things are released. You know, if I'd never had a gaff deck and I saw that, I might go, that's quite cool, I'll have a look at that. But if I had 10 gaff decks and I do all this stuff, then I probably wouldn't, because I've got enough. Do you know what I mean? So it's, I don't know how different it is. What I would say with this stuff is, if I describe the effect as honestly as I can, and you think that's an effect I want to do, then go for it. And if you're like, no, I've already got someone that does that, then absolutely. There's no reason at all. Brilliant. Thanks, that's great. Let's go with the Malero rings, because I've been having great fun with this. Let's go. So, sorry, I had all the windows open. Now, see, I had this techie meltdown, didn't I? So sorry, I have to get, this is dead time, isn't it? Talk amongst yourselves. Malero rings. All right, here we go. So, Sam Wright, David Ross ring routine. It's great this, because I love it when people recommend things, because again, I don't see everything. David Ross ring routine is the best I've seen. Cellini also does an unbelievably real routine with just 2 rings. Yeah, Cellini's great at everything. I love Cellini, and you know, I owe a lot to him, even though I never met him, because of my street performance. My cups and balls routine is kind of Vernon, Cellini, Gazzo, Pete Wardell, me. I'm not saying that that's a lineage. I'm just saying that's where I got the inspiration from with all of that. My mentors, people deal with that. So yeah, and David Roth, thank you. I'll check it out. Amazing. I've always held back on buying Lincoln rings, but this looks like a great start. It actually is. Got loads of Lincoln rings up here. I got the. It was funny. It sort of inspired me to get the big ones out again, and it's such a weird thing. If you kind of have a little, if you kind of, you know, have a little play with the little ones, and you know, all that kind of stuff, and then you get and play with that, and then get these out, it just feels like the weirdest thing in the world. They're just massive, like, plunk, you know, I can't even do it. There you go. It just feels like such a massive thing. You can't. It's the, you know, it's always that thing of when you go with something really small, and but it just, these are what I used to use on stage, and I don't think I could even do it anymore. Very well, anyway. Yeah, but they're great, aren't they, Lincoln rings? I mean, they just look beautiful. I think they're really. I think old school magic should come back. That's what we should. We should all be getting the cups and balls out, the Lincoln rings, the ball and cone, and getting on with it, because everybody loves them, and it's all getting too modern. That's what it's getting. It's all getting. I'll be there with the thimbles. Get the thimbles out. That's what we want. A bit of thimble action. Right, comments. From Chris. And that was from 88 Stefan, by the way. He's here now, and Sam Wright before. Chris Gillenders. Nice review as ever. You seem to be fully embracing the easy to manage hairstyle. I know, and I do want to grow the other one back, but it's just so easy. It's so easy, isn't it? You look like Sunny Holiday with that cut and glasses. And I'm so glad ninja rings were compared in this review. Now if I could find someone who's putting them next to me, Masado's next. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so they're just a bit more. Again, I'll show you the kind of main difference. Let's put my screen on so I can see where I am. Sorry, I should put my overhead camera on, but I can't because of my... So that's kind of, yeah, they're next to each other. I'm not doing that. Yeah, so look, that one's tiny. There's loads bigger. and one of them's out of focus. No, you know, so yeah, that's the difference. So again, you know, it's not loads, but it makes quite a difference in the handling. Just bought the Melero rings, yeah, cool. And Essentials in Magic linking rings, great. Well, a good start, and again, you'll really enjoy it. Magic Man. The problem I have with all linking rings is there's only one way the trick can be done. The key ring might be more clever than laymen think, but they still know there's a gap that opens up somehow. Again, I know it's a bold thing and it doesn't work with most magic this, but I think with some magic it's a bit like the multiplying balls. And I'll tell you what it's like as well, the cups and balls. At the end of the cups and balls, when there's a moment, obviously, when I do it with oranges and a melon, of the final loads, and there's a moment where obviously people go, where did that come from? And then they very quickly go, he must have put them under there somewhere, because a lot of people say, how'd you get them under there? That's kind of the trick. After that initial moment, don't get me wrong, nobody actually believes that the things appeared, but unless they want to, and they want to suspend that disbelief, which is wonderful, and people do stay in that place. It's kind of, I think with a lot of magic, it's more that even if they think there's a gap in one of them, but how is he showing all of these and he's handing out this one and that one and he's just showing them like that? It's kind of like I think they get to a point sometimes when people watch magic where even though they know, they get to a point where they just stop trying and they just go, I'm just going to enjoy it. And I think linking rings is one of those things that looks so pretty. Again, like for me, like the multiplying balls, obviously you don't want to do it where it's obvious. You don't want to be holding out a ball when you do multiplying balls in a finger that looks like he's holding a ball. You need to, but when you do it so beautifully, you watch Cardini, you know, you kind of know that the ball's coming from somewhere, but it doesn't, you just give up trying because you just cannot see those loads. So, you know, I think Cardini, watching him as a magician, is just as magical for me as it is as a layperson, probably more, because I'm appreciating that. And I think it can be a bit like that with the rings. It's kind of, it's almost part of it. And that's and that's how I felt when I first saw Shooter Gale do the ninja rings. I kind of went, oh well, I've been doing my clank on stage and doing my Whit Hayden thing, and now I'm seeing this, and I don't know how he's doing that because he's making it look so clear. And that was part of the game. So I know what you mean, and it's definitely not for everybody. But for me, it's more about the I can't even say the word because I'm a list. Aesthetic. I've got to say it with an F. Aesthetic. But yeah, thanks for the review. I ordered it this morning. I'm relieved your review was positive. I'm a ninja-ing nut. Yeah, you'll love them then. Tom, and that's from Colin Underwood. How you doing, Colin? Hope you're well. I think old school is going to pay well in post-COVID land. Up the metal, up the game. Brilliant. Okay, so Julien Eisner, considering your comment on, it's quite a long one, which I like, but it's not too long. Considering your comments about the quality of the rings and teaching, these seem very reasonably priced. I have a budget 4-ring set and an 8-ring set for stage, 4-inch for close-up, 8-ring for stage, 10-inch for stage. I was interested in the Matthew Garrett Ninja Plus package, and also the new GIR set with which you can apparently hand out immediate inspection 2 rings you have just linked. Cool. However, the Garrett rings are hugely more expensive. I appreciate that Garrett's building of a finger ring or bar blade into a routine would be good in some settings, but the obvious question is, now that Malero set is available, is there any real benefit in opting for Garrett products? Well, I think I've not used Matthew Garrett stuff. I really like it. I've kind of picked them up at conventions and stuff. Great. His is very much around this plus, isn't it? The Ninja Plus, he's got the ring, which is brilliant. And I think with some stuff, you're kind of paying for the routine. You're paying for him that's spent the time coming up with the routine. So you get the props, you work the routine. And then, of course, VI can kind of mass produce a little bit more, so they save a little bit of money off everything. Matthew does it on his own, so he's got a couple of costs like that. And I think that I haven't used him, so I can't compare the products. I'm sure Matthews are brilliant, even though he did beat me in the Magic Circle Close-Up Magician of the Year in 2005, which I was a bit sad about. Came second. I was happy about it, really. And he deserved it, because I was shocking. But not that I'd have had to be for him to win, you know what I mean? Oh, Steve, you're digging yourself a hole here. But no, it's just preference. If you like his stuff, you like the whole Ninja Plus thing with the fingering, go for that. And if it's a slightly different thing, isn't it? But I can't answer that objectively, but I can say just have a look at both, and which is harder online, I know. Just want to know if the structure of this set is double. It's the same structure as the normal ninja rings. So it's a double single keyring. And can you do some of the moves like silent link? Yep, you can. You can do everything you can with, this is by Sui Tak Lee, sorry if I've got the pronunciation wrong. I've ordered a set of Murphys because the size of it is tempting. I'm currently using TCC rings, as I think TCC's quality is much better than Ninja or Masato. But TCC rings are a bit small. I haven't used them, so I can't comment on the quality, but these feel like great quality and good enough for me. And I hope you enjoy them. But yeah, you can do all the if you already do Ninja rings, you can do all of that. Ernesto got some reputation. Yeah, Ernesto's great. You know, he's great. Apparently a lovely guy and really skilled. And those downloads that he did with just amazing. The carding glass thing just looks very tough, but good stuff. By the next review, you're going to be bald. Stop it. I know. I just go more extreme. I'm a man of extremes. What can I say? Maybe we should combine the old magic, cups and rings, Lincoln ball. Hey, Stefan. Yeah, but you'd be surprised. I got obsessed with this Conan ball routine. You know, the Vernon Conan ball. I'm still obsessed with it. But I've been playing with it yesterday. Actually, I performed a version of it for ages, and I don't know why. I just want to make it work because I spent 8 years working on the thing. That's why, and it just doesn't work in any of my shows. But I'm still determined to get it in. And the multiplying balls as well, I just adore them. But yeah, so oh yeah, you asked me to mention the show, so I'll do a quick plug. But most of you won't be able to go and see it because you're away from where I am. But my show isn't virtual, so it's there'll be a virtual version of it, but it's called The Magic of Now. There's some really exciting stuff that I'm working on now that is quite risky. It's quite a commitment because it's very different to anything I've ever done. But I would go to stevesmagicshow.com stevefaulkner.com/show if you want to buy tickets. But again, most of you aren't going to be able to. But if you're in the UK and you want to see it, if not, fly me over to where you are when we can. I can have a nice holiday and do a show if it's any good. I haven't written most of it yet. Roger Curtis, never done Lincoln rings before, but would love to start. I've inherited some sets of rings, large and Ninja. Great, but these look really nice. Why would you say these are good for a beginner? To the Lincoln, yeah, they are good for a beginner. But again, if you've already got a set of Ninjas, I would learn it with that, and then if you're really into it, then buy some more. These aren't easier to use than Ninja rings, they just feel nice. But so I would go with what you've got, even if you've got cheap. Oh, I mean these. You know, these from Davenport, these were Davenports years ago, and they were cheap as chips, you know, and they're fine. So you can I'd learn it. If you'd love it, get into it, then start investing, I would. But I always say, you know, it's like cups and balls. People that start the cups and balls say, what cups should I get? These are 200 quid and they're beautiful. Great. If you've got the money, lovely. But you can learn cups and balls with that. And or 3 of them, because the moves are the same. It won't be, but you know, and then you'll get a feel of whether you want to do it or not. So get 3 cups from your cupboard, roll up 3 bits of paper or some grapes even. I've done it with grapes and mugs for kids and that when I haven't got my stuff. And Vernon used to do it, didn't he? And Bellini, I think, used to do it with put the glasses and cover the glasses with tissue paper upside down at events and things like that. So yeah, you haven't got. If you want to learn this stuff, just get the routines and learn them with stuff you got at home. Not that you got Lincoln rings at home. Bring the classics back. I'm there for it, and I'm reading and reviewing soon the Steve Cohen book, and he's another one for the classics, isn't he? And he does all right out of it. So I think we're gonna, you know. Andy Woodhouse. I've only ever liked the rings done by Richard Ross on Paul Daniels show. Yeah, beautiful. We need some reviews on classics of magic. Yeah, well, I'm doing a review soon on Axel Hecklau's Just a Cup, which is about 10 years old. That's a classic, but it's a reworking of a classic, and that's really interesting. So again, these reviews, if you see it and you think I'm not that interested in that product, not that you wouldn't be for that, or if it's an old product, do watch them, because we were talking about it yesterday. There's old stuff that needs to be reviewed, and I'm desperately trying to clear these new reviews so I can get onto some old stuff that is way better than stuff that's out at the moment. But we don't review it anymore because we're so hungry for the new, aren't we? And I think that we need to look back as well. You know, magic is so old, there's no reason why something that came out 5 years ago isn't just as good as something that came out now. But I'm the same, I go for that new thing. Favourite book about mentalism? Whoa, I love the Doug Diamond one now. Oh, looks up there, is it there? No, it's in my house. It's in my house. Yeah, the Doug Diamond one's brilliant. My other favourites are well, we know if you've watched this show before, you know what I'm going to talk about, and then go home in tears because I sold my Andy Nyman Bulletproof, which is one of my favourite ones. I sold it like an idiot because I was skint, and now I regret it. I regret it forever. The psychological subtleties, thanks Tom, are great for those things that put in between the routines. But Bob Cassidy's Artful Mentalism of Bob Cassidy is just a great book. It's got some right joyous ones on it. You know, I can't even see myself. Can you see me there? You can't see it. There you go. Artful Mentalism of Bob Cassidy. That's a stunner. And then there's things like, you know, there's all the old ones, isn't there? Secret Ways of Al Baker. This is a great book, just because it's big and pretty. There you go. Look at that. That's what you want. My Myth and Magic, I sold that as well. Gutted. But yeah, I mean, there's. But I would go for, if you're getting it, I mean, Corinda and stuff like that. If you haven't got into, Ted Leslie's Paramiracles, that's brilliant. But the Artful Mentalism of Bob Cassidy is an absolute classic. So I'm looking at see if anyone else comes to mind. Yeah. But no, I'm loving my mentalism now. I've got no room for it. Well, I've got too much to learn in my little head. It's all overflowing with stuff at the moment. Thanks, Julian. No worries. Hey man, what would you prefer as first magic book? So hard, isn't it? I got Josh Jay's one because it's quite modern. You know, I mean, obviously you've got we were talking about this the other day. The classic, which is the Mark Wilson one. I'm trying to see it now, which is probably one of the best ones for the amount of stuff you get in it. But it's a bit of a weird read because it's all loads of pictures. I like reading and then seeing a picture and seeing the description. But the Mark Wilson one's probably a good all-rounder. It gets a bit dated in the way it looks and stuff, but I think it's got a lot in there. But yeah, somebody else chip in as well if you've got ones that you recommend. Royal Road to Card Tricks is the best book for beginners. Yeah, Royal Road's great. I've got a course on that, on Card Magic course. That isn't finished yet. I'm going to be finished in about 12 years. I add to it about every 2 months because it's massive. How many other books are written with comic font? Yeah, I know, they got that re-release of, it's a big bane, the re-release, which I haven't got the re-release one, the Royal Road is in Comic Sans in it, it's awful. But I've got the old one of Royal Road here, which is way nicer. What you want? Which is a picture of it behind me on the thing. Right, I better get on with it, ain't I? Because I'm banging on and I'm running a little intro to the Lincoln Rings on the Card Magic Course live session tonight. See, it's not just about card magic. Dino's Book of Secrets, really. I haven't read that, but great. Yeah, all those books, they're going to have good stuff in it, you know, and give you a good idea of where to go next. So I would say, yeah, anything like that. And like I said, I bought, for a present, I knew a few people that wanted to get into magic, and they didn't want the old books, and I got them the Josh J one, just because it's a bit more, it's got really nice pictures in, nice photos. But I'm sure there's loads more as well. Right. That's it, I think. Thank you. That was all right, wasn't it? Seeing as my mic didn't work and we had a meltdown before that. My Myth and Magic would be great if someone asked me what's after 13 steps. Yeah, My Myth and Magic. Oh, and Animan, of course. I didn't mention Animan. I haven't actually got any of Animan's books. But if anybody's got a Bulletproof knocking around, or you got a spare... I think they're about 800 quid on eBay. I saw it on eBay for 800 quid and it didn't sell because that's just ridiculous. If you buy a book for 800 quid, you spend it on something nicer. Right, so see you later everyone. Have a great one. Thank you for hanging out with me for this long rambly show. It does mean an awful lot. Remember, come back on Mondays, most Mondays. I say that because now and then I can't do it, at 5, where I just talk about random stuff, what I've been working on, what I've seen, answer your questions. And next Thursday at 5. And remember, cardmagiccourse.com. If you want the spread cull course, it's cardmagiccourse.com/cull. And I am going to be providing people that go on that list with some exclusive content as well. You get some emails just about my thoughts about practice and stuff like that, and I ain't going to spam no one. So take care everybody. Thank you so much for being here with me. It really is lovely. And see you later. Bye bye. Oh, like and subscribe.